and using altered states. And after 20 years of working with the system, working with Jose Silva's family, because he passed away in 1999, Mind Valley is bringing the Silva method back to the world in a big way. I'm honored to have been asked to be the new face of the Silva method because of my research in this, and we'll be bringing this to Mind Valley. And I want to invite you to join me on a 90-minute free masterclass where I'm going to be teaching how to access altered states. In this class, you're going to learn about the different states, how to use these states, and I'm going to show you a technique that you can train yourself so that very reliably you can access a particular altered state. And I'm going to give you a tool designed by Jose Silva that allows you to use the state in a really powerful way to do anything from manifesting your dreams to self-healing. And this masterclass is part of the new Silva Ultramind system, the methodology that Jose Silva developed just before he died, and that Mind Valley is now updating and bringing to the world. Thank you. I'll see you there.
Hello. So good evening everyone and welcome to episode 8 of Dungeons and Dragons Into the Mist with our Animal Crossing friends. So last week, just to give everyone a recap of what happened, after Gideon and Icarus finally made it to the old windmill that Shivara, Johanna, and Condoriano were staying at. They learned that Morganta is actually a hag, and inside that windmill there was a coven of witches that were using children in order to make their dream pastries. Those pastries that give people extreme relaxation to the point that they forget all of their problems. They feel so relieved. They to the point that they start to dream of a place that they wish they could be, which is not Barovia. They realize that this is a powerful coven with lots of magic powers, and so they cut their losses and escape while they still can. After making their way back onto the road, they're able to find a spot to camp for the night. While camping, Shivara endured several nightmares, preventing her from having a sound sleep. This in turn exhausted her the next morning, and now the adventurers continue their journey along the old Jvalik road, following the forest and coming upon what looks to be signs of civilization. Maybe a few 4 or 5 more kilometers away, they can start to see what looks like guard towers in the wall. However, upon making this discovery, the mist starts to creep up around them once again. From the mist, eyes begin to glow, and giant dire wolves come out from the mist. They try to defend themselves. In fact, they are able to kill one of the wolves. However, another cloud of mist forms in the middle more wolves come out from the forest. And from that pillar of mist, a man draped in very fine looking clothes comes out. He is pale. His face is pale. His hair is long. And he introduces himself as Strad von Zarovich. And then he makes several demands to the party to give Irina to him, to surrender her, so that he may finally fulfill his destiny. But the party refused. And so now, with his resurrected direwolf next to him, he raises a hand pointing towards the party. As the party can see, there is a big ball of energy emanating from his palm. And suddenly, they hear the words, "Prestigitation!" And fireworks start to erupt from behind them. You can see fireworks in the shape of a heart and two swans that are interlocking necks to form a heart also behind Strad. My guests, you have done so well in entertaining my dear Irina with these thoughts of running away. You see, there is no escaping me. However, I promise you, come to me. Give her to me, and I will give her a life of splendor and excess, just like no others. And we will live happily ever after. What do you say?
Hello?
Hello, yes?
Ayun, ayun.
No.
Tinanong niya ba? Ay, wala ko. Sorry.
Still no. But I promise that I will take care of Irina. She is my beloved.
Ayoko nga.
Very well. This time, I will not force myself upon her. She must come to me willingly in my castle in Ravenloft. But you, my dear guests, you, I have no interest in keeping alive any longer. Tell me, why should I not rip you from flesh from bone right now? Is that true, Irina? Do you care for these people that you have known only days, hours? You care for them more than me, who you have known for more than 400 years? And you hear a clap of thunder from behind him. and you see Irina giving tawag to? Her face is very scared, but she's holding back her fear. She's trying to put on a brave face. And you can see her trembling, Johanna, because you are closest to her. You can see her trembling as she says, "No, I will not go with you. I would rather be with them. They are my friends. If you hurt them, I will definitely not go with you."
Okay. Philhog considers patient's intent as not impatient.
And you can see now Strahd's face turns from amusement to frustration.
Because they're not in the hospital. That's so bureaucratic.
And he says, "Very well. If that is so, perhaps we can find some
Okay, so like just because they're not in
purpose
the
from
hospital, they
these
can't be charged
guests
in hospitals or
of ours. Everyone, roll a d20. /r space d20, yes, correct. Oh. So he turns to Condoriano and asking, "You, the funny man in a shell, you have no hair. Why do you not have hair?"
Because I'm born without hair.
That is fair enough. Tell me, born without hair, what is it you seek? What is your heart's greatest desire?
To return the
True. You'll just die
artifact
killing
that was
the
stolen.
which is the point of
Make a wisdom save.
you're staying at home. This is a cute comedian comic.
Oh boy.
Are you playing now?
Okay.
No, I was gonna show you.
He's. Hold on. I'm just going to see his spell save DC. Because right now, oh my goodness.
It's a series of
Conriano, you can start to feel that there is a wave of energy that is pulsing through your mind, as though it is going through your memories, flipping through the pages of all the things that have occurred, all the things that you have done in the past. And Strahd says, "Ah, yes, that which should not have been lost, that which was stolen by someone who hates you. Tell me, Conteriano, would you like to recover it?"
Yes.
Would you like to seek revenge on the man who stole it from you?
Yes.
If so, then follow me. Come with me. come on. And he gestures to Condoriano to join him on his side. Well, I thought you wanted your precious artifact back. There are many artifacts here in Barovia. I can give you powers beyond anything imaginable. Just join me. Condriano? What do you say to his proposal?
Talaga.
Sasali ka sa ano? Sasali ka sa Iniwan kami. Walang yato.
Nasali. Nasali lang ako sa gulo.
Okay, okay. I was not expecting this. Now, okay. Now, here's the thing. If you are really going to push through, then that would render Condoriano out of this storyline.
Sige, convince niyo ko na wag sumali. I-convince niyo ko na wag.
Or roll that out of the storyline, but it would render him no longer a playable character.
Nagawa ka ng bagong
They have a trailer already.
Maybe baka really the artifact ng wait. I'll just
Guns.
nagbago.
accompany these adventurers.
Mabilis pala tong maas.
Good. It's like I am the one
Mga batang
Yun naman kasi.
Ikaw yung mga batang nakikidnap.
They're competitive.
Well, that's just a warning. Pero if you really want to have this happen, that's okay. That's perfectly fine. Now we can also have that happen also.
Stay muna ako sa party.
And then there's a lot more recent.
And you see Strahd's face grow with even more frustration. How dare you deny the gifts that I offer? How about you? And he points now to Shivara. I know what you desire. Shivara, make a wisdom saving throw. You want your old life back, don't you? The people who trusted you. You want to give them justice. Join me, and I will give you power beyond imaginable. Beyond all things imaginable. I will give you the power to seek revenge on those who wronged you and your crew.
Thanks. Alam ko yun. But no thanks. Kaya ko na to. I can do this on my own.
And you see another face of dejectment from Strahd. Fine. Then you, angelic one, come here. Johanna, make a wisdom save. Oh my goodness. So, unlike Condoriano and Shivara, wherein Strahd simply flipped through their memories and read their heart's desires, this time you can feel, Johanna, that there's a energy, a magical presence in your mind, and not just reading, it's now pulling on your desires. It is manipulating your mind. Everything in your mind says that no, this is a man that cannot be trusted. And yet, for some unexplainable reason, you kind of like him. You find him very handsome. You find him very eloquent. You find him very charming. In short, Johanna, you have now been charmed by Strahd.
Di ako pwedeng ma-charm.
Why is that?
Wait. Sorry.
No? No reason?
Ay, oo, hindi.
Okay.
Ano pala? Necrotic damage pala. Hindi pala.
Half-elf ka ba?
Ay, hindi. Pero may celestial egg ako eh. Parang hindi ako.
Okay.
Pero baka hindi.
That's okay.
Pero,
And
bakit ako na-charm? Hindi naman ako sa wisdom save. De, joke lang. Joke lang.
because his spellcasting ability is higher than what you rolled. So that gives you a clue of how powerful a magician or a spellcaster this person is. He compels Johanna to come closer to him. And you can see, Johanna, your body starts to move against your will, as though you are drawn to him. One step after another.
Ay, pakisampal naman ako. Joke lang.
You walk closer to him.
Pwede ko hilahin si Johanna.
Pwede naman. Make an athletics check. Pwede rin.
Ano ka ba?
Go ahead, roll.
I-roll.
Shivara Athletics. Condoriano Thorn Whip.
Ano
Pwede
yan,
ba
last resort?
acrobatics
Ha?
instead of... Pwede ba acrobatics instead of athletics?
Yes.
Mas mataas yung acrobatics ko.
Okay, good. So, with your quick hands, you're able to catch Johanna before she can move. She can walk closer. However, your reflexes stop her. But she is still moving. She is fighting against you. It slows her down, but does not stop her completely. Condoriano, do you still want to thorn whip her? To slow her down completely.
Okay lang
Pwede
sa'yo.
mo ako nung...
Resort.
Pwede mo akong gawin yung last time. Parang may harang sa door. Basta
Something.
feeling ko para magising ako or something. Parang,
Pag na-damage ba siya, magigising siya.
The only time charm will be dispelled is if the charmer, in this case Strahd, is the one who harms her. So kailangan si Strahd yung mag-damage sa kanya.
Ano yung thorn whip?
Nagda-damage yun.
Magpapatigil ba yun?
Pwede kong hilahin yung ano, yung sword whip. Nagda-damage din.
pwede. Sige, torn whip mo na nga ako. Kill ko na lang yung sarili.
Si sword whip ko, si Johanna, then pwede itali sa ano? Ay, trace ba sa ano?
Sure.
sword whip.
Okay, roll Thorn Whip. Oh no, that's a miss. Unfortunately, Condriano, your whip misses Johanna and you're unable to grab onto her. Johanna, make an athletics check.
It's okay. Just reserve it for your tiny feeling punch.
Is that higher? Okay, that is not higher than the acrobatics. So Johanna, you still feel that you're unable to escape the grasp of Shivara. However, Shivara, you start to feel that you are being dragged by Johanna. Both of you are now moving closer to Strad.
Pwede bang mag-ask kami ng help kay Irina?
What kind of help are you asking?
Like, baka may spell siya or something. Baka may spell siya.
Ah,
Meron akong spell eh, kaya lang parang hindi na ako.
what spell are you going to use? What spell is that? Okay, no problem. Protection from good.
Boss, yan yung babaeng gusto ko. Pag nakita ko, liligawan mo yan. Wala.
Ba't may intro?
Suot ka na naman. Bukas napapasagot ko na yan. Anong tatanong mo dyan? Once na once? May sasagot yun. Iyo,
So, galing yun.
Ba't may video? Yan yung iniisip ko, yan yung ano eh, parang magiging atmosphere. Wrong video. Protection from okay. There should have been before.
Eh, hindi naman ako makapag-attack sa inyo. Paano ba yun i-ready ko? Habang nagsasalita ka?
Wait. Yeah, until this one ends, finally research dies. The protection creates 7 Cat your target is already charmed. And okay. So you cast this. Okay, I'll let you cast this on yourself and make another saving throw.
Yay! Thank you, DM.
Okay. So you cast protection from evil and good. And now make another wisdom saving throw to see if you can break free from his charm.
I have a question.
Yes.
Bawa nga may ganong nangyari, like nagsasalita ka tapos ako yung inattack. Pwede ko bang i-spell sa sarili ko?
Yeah.
Before pa ako matamaan, sabihin ko, ay wait, meron akong spell.
Yes, that's correct.
Parang ika-counter ko siya. So, pwede pala yun.
Yes.
Another wisdom saving throw.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Ito pa question. So, halimbawa naman, hindi ako yung inattack si Shibara.
Mhm.
Pwede ko din ba siyang i-save?
Uh,
Habang ina-attack siya? Or on my turn pa?
Okay, if it's like this na narration, as long as you're reasonably within touching distance, yes. Okay, pwede yan.
Pwede ko silang i-help.
Yes. Okay. So,
Oh!
ayan.
Hindi na ako na-charm.
Okay, so Johanna, yung kanta na yung music na narinig mo kanina, that was the music that was playing in your head while you were charmed.
God. Nakakatawa.
But now that you have rid yourself of the magical effects of his spell, biglang the music stops and you snap back to reality. And you notice that Shivara is grabbing onto your arm, and you see a long trail on the ground kung saan na-drag mo si Shivara. And you see a thorn whip that missed you. Barely.
Titingin ako na kunwari hindi ko, parang ano ka, parang hindi mo alam yung nangyayari.
And Strad grows again very disappointed with what happened because he can feel your resistance. Fine. If I cannot bring you to my side through gifts, then I will bring you to my side through fear.
Pwedeng i-ask siya bakit niya kami tinatry isama sa team niya o sa group niya if kung malakas naman na sila, hindi niya kami kailangan. So, ibig sabihin, mahina pa yung team niya. Like, ano yun in a mockery way.
You see, I have been here for many centuries, and I grow tired. Frankly, I grow bored. You are but entertainment to me. Joining my side will bring me some variety. Maybe. But since you insist that power is not how I will get you, or giving you power is not how I will get you to join me, then perhaps using my power on you will. Everyone make a dex save.
Habang yung deck save, pwede kong i-bless yung team ko. Or no?
Okay,
Sige.
I will let you cast bless if your deck save saves.
Okay. Sige. Please.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so everyone roll bless.
Roll yun.
1d6.
Ayan.
1d4, sorry, 1d4.
3.
Whew, okay. And you see that from Strad's hand, you see a blazing ball of fire appear and hit you and engulf all of you here. Which means half damage. Everyone takes 14 damage.
Grabe naman yun. What? Wait.
Okay. And after the fireball engulfs all of you, you see Strad now no longer as composed as he once was, fling into a tirade about how that you should know that he is the one that brought you here, and that you are all subjects in his kingdom, and that you cannot escape him, and no matter what you do, he will have Irina one way or another.
Gano'ng malayo? Ay, wait.
And yeah.
Pwede ko gamitin yung ay, wait. Yan. Baka malayo ako masyado.
Lesser restoration. Who are you using it on?
Hey, flag. Ano yun yan?
Strad?
Strad.
Why?
Parang paralyze. Parang hindi niya kami saktan. Or hindi siya tataplan.
No, he will not be affected by that. And
Defense sa...
actually, you could have used that to remove your charm earlier. Ah, wait, hindi pala. Hindi pala pwede. Never mind. A greater restoration pala yun. Anyway. So, after blasting you with a fireball and giving his evil person speech, you see now the mist start to rise once more from the ground, and it covers him up, and all of the wolves that are surrounding you, they're starting to be covered by the mist. And then a column of bats suddenly fly out from where Strad used to stand, and all of the wolves are now disappeared together with the mist. And you hear the voice, one mocking, chiding voice, saying, "Irina will be mine." Okay. So that returns us here to the map of Barovia, where you continue your journey.
Damage, mapalala kaya tayo.
Hindi pa yung laban.
Kaya mamiss tayo, patay tayo.
Half damage yun to kung full damage patay ako kagad.
10 na lang yung buhay ko.
Kung full damage yun, patay ako diretso. Patay tayo diretso.
Gusto mo, ay kalista, pero si Condoriano, is maalo.
Okay.
Like, ask na pala kung meron siyang alam na way, paano namin malalaman.
See Irina, you're going to ask her,
Yeah.
and she tells you, if we knew of a way to fight Strad, maybe we would have used it. But as you heard from the Vishtani, even an army couldn't defeat Strad. Even a powerful wizard couldn't defeat Strad.
Ikaw. Pag-chismisan.
And now,
May, mag-rest muna tayo. Something. Saan ba kami pwede mag-rest?
you see night is about to fall once more. And maybe you can get, you see that there is just this road up ahead that you guess you will be able to trek if you go fast before nightfall. Do you take the risk?
Sige.
So,
Mag-horse ka tapos
Balik.
lipat ako. Oo. Para mag-rest. Buhatin mo si Irina tsaka si Shimara tapos lilipat ako.
Mag-rest tayo or mag-continue.
Parang meron daw resting place eh, sabi ni DM. Si Buddy M,
nag-transform
sabi
ako.
mo.
Yes, you can see that there's already civilization. There are walls, there is a gate that, but it's, you estimate it's more or less mga 2 miles from you.
Sige, transform ako ng kabayo para makabilis ang sino sasakay?
Oh, wala akong pakpak. Pwede kami, ay, tatlo pala tayo.
Tayo eh. Pwede mo nang
Lilipat
lipad.
talaga. Oo. Tapos, isasama pa natin sina ano.
Lilipat na lang din si
Ano nga name?
Calisto. Si
Icarus?
Calisto. Si Calisto.
Si Darius at si Calisto. Sino yun?
Alam mo,
Si
may
Gideon?
Calisto dito sa to.
Si Gideon.
Diba? Ika.
Stormborn kasi.
Oo.
Pwede sa daan, i-ask din namin si Irina kung ano yung sinasabi na 400 years old siya.
I'm just 20. I don't know what he's talking about. That 400 years.
Si Irina, walang alam. Joke lang.
Baka reincarnation to.
Oo.
Okay.
Akala ko na nung love ako kay Fred, akala ko sana yung boyfriend ko na hinahanap ko. So, shocks.
Charm lang.
So, Condoriano, roll a d20.
Then,
Okay. Okay. While you're making a mad dash towards the end of the road here, you see that on the ground, you see an odd object on the ground that does not look like it is part of nature. Do you stop to investigate it?
Sige, baka loot yan.
Yes.
Yes,
There is a odd thing on the ground that looks out of place.
kalaban.
check. Or,
Pwedeng image hand na lang.
Okay. And as you stop to inspect it, you see that it is a bundle. A cloth bundle.
Can we investigate more kung ano yung laman ng bundle?
With a mage hand.
Okay. As you cast your mage hand, it brings the bundle towards you, and you see that it is wrapped like the same way that you would wrap a baby. However, upon looking at it, there is no baby. Do you open the bundle?
Chan ko.
Slowly.
As you open this bundle slowly with your mage hand, you see that coins suddenly fall to the ground as the whole bundle comes undone into one big sheet. Inside the bundle was holding
Treasure!
gold coins.
Nice.
Yes! Mayaman na tayo, guys! Makakaluwag-luwag na.
As you dismount to pick them up, you find that there are at least 12 gold coins, all of them pressed with the image of what looks to be Strad on them. So, imbis na Jose Rizal, si Strad yung muka ng coins.
Magagamit ba namin siya or hindi? Kasi stranding nandun.
You are aware that this is actually the currency being used here in Barovia.
Yung Strad as in yung vampire?
Yes.
Magtanungan tayo, mag-investigate tayo. Ba't siya na?
Hindi rin alam ni Irina.
Sure, hindi niya alam.
Irina tells you that for all she knows, throughout, even before she was born, Strad has always ruled throughout Barovia. It has been that way for many generations. And nobody has dared question his rule. All those who tried have fallen. All those who tried have died.
Pagkatian muna natin yung coin.
Okay?
Okay, 12 yan, di ba?
12?
Yes.
4 tayo.
Or sa atin.
Sige. 3, 4.
Okay, and you finally made it. Just as night is starting to approach, you come upon this gate made of stone, where you see there's a portcullis that blocks the way, and on top you can see the sign that says Morning Gate.
Parang dito na yata talaga tayo pupunta.
And then on a sign on top of that sign, you can read the word Valaki. Okay, so the sign on top of the gates read Valaki Morning Gate. There, it's on chat. Yeah. You can see that now that it is dark, there are several torches being lit. Two from the outside, and there are two on the towers. The glow of the torches cast shadows on the inside, telling you that there are guards inside of the gates right now. However, they are not facing you. They are facing away from you right now, facing inwards. And it seems that if you are to if they are to notice you, you have to catch their attention.
Pwede ako
Para
mag-cast.
papasukin kami.
Oo.
Come again?
Sige, ako na ba yan?
Ha?
Ikaw
Ano
muna.
yan?
Ikaw muna yung sinasabi ko.
Ay, hindi. Kailangan natin catch your attention nila para papasukin kayo.
You're not sure kung papasukin kayo. You just know that they are guards. They are not paying attention to your direction right now, but they are alert.
Di ba kilala ni ano yan? Ni, ah, sino yung kasama natin girl? Sorry. Oo, ni Erina.
Irina? Well, Irina tells you that she has never been to Valaki, and that the burgomaster and her father only have a professional relationship since they are both burgomasters of their respective towns. They are not really close, and perhaps the last time that the burgomaster of Valaki saw Irina, it was many years ago, and they might not recognize her.
Pwede akong, gusto nyo ba i-catch yung attention? Or knock na lang tayo? Or something? Wave ng white flag? Alam ng friend.
Pwede naman. May
I-wave ko
spell
yung
ako,
buntot ko.
illusion.
May buntot ka?
Ano gagawin ng buntot ko?
Yung kabayo. May buntot ba yung kabayo?
Kabayo nga pala.
Oo, magninay ka nga pala. Magninay ka.
Is that what we're going with?
Or magano. Iha! Ganun.
Okay. Parang donkey naman yun. Okay, so Condoriano, in an attempt to catch the attention of the guards inside of the guard.
Bababa muna ako pala from my flying. Baka matakot sila pag nakakita na may
Okay, that's a good idea.
ako, as regular girl lang.
Okay. And in order to catch the attention of the guards inside, Condoriano lets out a loud "Meow." And you can see two startled guards turning, and you can see their faces through the portcullis, trying to look out into the darkness. Who goes there?
Magpapakilala kami na galing kami dun sa place nila Irina, and pinapunta kami nung brother niya na anak ni yung dad nila. Sorry, mahina ko sa names.
And the guard says, "You're from Barovia? The village?"
Yes, we travel far away to go here.
That's very far indeed. It's a very dangerous trek. How are we sure that you are not the undead? And you see them starting to turn their spears on you.
Ano bang way para maging undead?
We don't know.
Oo nga. Ano ba? Paano natin ipaprove na hindi nga tayo masamang tao or undead? Well, hindi kami takot sa cross. I don't know. We don't like bloods. Paano nga ba natin?
Baka may garlic sila doon.
Or magpe-pray ako sa harap nila. Takot si Dracula sa cross. Madami akong cross.
Garlic! Wait. And you can see that one of the guards brings out a ring of garlic. Here, put this on. He tosses it to you. Put it on.
Okay. Sige.
Pwede namin.
Oo, pwede na. Isuotin namin.
Okay.
See? We're not undead.
And then the guard whispers to the guard that you're talking to. Hey, garlic only works on vampires. It doesn't work on undead. All right. Are you vampires?
Oh, we're not. We're human.
And turtle.
Basta we're not
Horse
undead.
pala to.
Our well,
How about like this na lang? We will offer you some pies and then we promise na hindi kami magugulo and promise na hindi rin kami undead.
well, what
Iba-bribe
business
namin
do
sila
you
ng
have
pie.
here? What business do you have in Valaki anyway?
Kasi pinupunta kami ng brother ni Irina, tapos tinuturo namin si Irina na she will be safe pag nandito kami.
Why? Who is she? Is she in trouble? Who's trying to find? Who's trying to hunt her or harm her?
Ay, huwag natin sabihin na si Basta sabihin lang,
Oo.
basta sasabihin lang namin na pinapunta siya doon kasi ano siya, may tinatagong baby pa.
Parang puntang US lang ah.
Buntis pala. Oh my God.
Ano na lang, may have to. Nagtatago sa ex. Ganun.
Tama,
May habol
tama.
ng ex.
Oo.
Make
Nangahabol
a
yung ex.
persuasion or deception roll
With, ano yun with...
with guidance.
Sige, deception. Ako.
I'll go. Kaya mo yan. Ah!
Oh, that's one nasty X then. All right.
Kasi ng pies.
Okay, but I have to warn you. We have a few ground rules. First, if I let you in, you have to make sure that you stay happy all the time. Okay? Two,
Okay?
no bad vibes allowed. Once,
Sobrang hippie ng mga tao dito.
okay, once you step into these gates, you're not allowed to have any bad vibes because, according to the burgomaster, bad vibes invite the devil, and we don't want the devil here.
Who's the devil?
You know, the devil. We're not supposed to speak his name.
Okay. I think we know sino sinasabi mo.
Yes, there's only one devil here, and he is not welcome. That's why you should always be happy and avoid bad vibes. Okay? You promise?
Promise! With the, parang inaabot na namin. Promise!
Okay.
Talagang gusto mo ibigay. Kung ayaw nila, okay lang.
Okay, they take the
One
pies.
for me. Ay, joke.
Rare na yung pies mo.
Hindi na tayo welcome dun sa hug. Sige.
They take your pies, and you can hear that a mechanism is starting to raise the portcullis in order to let you in. And one of the guards quips, if you're looking for a place to keep your horse, I think there's one in the stockyard. They might have space there. If you're looking for a place to stay, I think the Blue Water Inn should help you.
May nakasakay pa sa akin.
Plan.
Pwede magnalit ako sa first one.
Sige.
So, ma-shock yung guard.
What kind of sorcery is this? This is bad vibes. Bad vibes.
No, it's not a bad vibe. Friend namin siya.
You are going to invite bad vibes into Valaki. I cannot allow this.
Oh my God, sa harap pa pa nila nag-transform. Oh my God.
Wag ka na lang. Yung parang magic trick. Tapos, tada!
Kasi maganda po. Parang great comedian ko.
Sabihin mo ano ka, illusionist or something. Galing ka sa carnival or ano.
Oo, sa carnival.
What kind of trick are you doing?
Yan.
Mancha.
Mabago.
Manchado.
Pwede bigyan ko na lang ng silver plates na nakuha ko noon.
Ganon. Natatakot nga sila sa'yo. Mag-ano ko na silver.
Make a
Bayad na lang ako.
make a persuasion check for that.
With guidance.
Wow.
No, you are like those Vishtani. You are bad vibes.
Ilan ano to? Ilan yung kausap namin?
2 of them.
Wait, baka meron ako.
I-persuade niyo na ano. I'm friendly.
Pwede ko bang ano, tulungan yung friend na i-convince mo sa niyang kasama na ginamit sa tao?
How will you do that?
Meron akong yung command.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can cast that.
Kakast ko na lang yung command sa isa. Para i-convince niya na parang kilala niya kami. Ay, kilala niya si Cotoriano na parang
So, what specific command are you giving?
Yun, na-convince niya lang yung friendly. Friendly kami. Hindi kami bad vibes.
Yeah. Ano kasi, the command spell is a one sentence command. So what is that one sentence command that you're giving them?
Bad vibe, be gone.
Ano ba? Maniwala siya na illusionist lang. Pwede ba yun? Like, mapaniwala siya na illusionist. O hindi yun pwede.
Okay.
Kailangan command kasi.
Better if it's a command.
Paano natin i-put yung words?
Ano lang, believe in me.
O pwede, Kalisto.
And as you say that, you see him drop his spear and say, I believe in you. Okay, come in.
Ayun naman pala.
And as
Believe lang pala.
and as you enter this strange town through the darkness, you can see that there are several rows of wolf heads that are on stakes lining the streets. Imagine where parang every 10 meters there's a stick on the ground, and on top of it there is a wolf head. A dead wolf, real wolf head. Yes, you were trying to ask something.
May kasama pa ba kami nung naglalakad kami?
Aside from
Kami na lang.
aside from the party, it's just you.
Okay. Sige. Walang mga tao sa paligid.
Nobody
Para
else.
Para pagtanungan namin ba't may mga wolf's head.
There are no other people. However, are you trying to look for reasons as to why?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll an investigation check.
With guidance.
Yes.
10 lang.
Okay. And that would be enough. Because while you are walking on the streets, you see one of the houses. There is a poster. And as you bring your torch to read the poster, you read that it says uh, hold on. I'm trying to look for what it says. It says, "Come one, come all, to the greatest celebration of the year, the Wolf's Head Jamboree. Attendance and children required. Pikes will be provided. All will be well. Signed, the Baron." Okay. So, this is what you read in the poster.
Tonight ba to or sa ibang day?
By the indications, um, you are able to deduce that this has already happened. This jamboree has already happened.
Okay.
So it is nighttime, and you can see yourselves in this dark road lined with wolves' heads. I will give you your party marker over here as the cute and cuddly Callisto. Yan. Okay. So you are in this area of town. Kita nyo?
Yes, kita.
Ah.
Kita ko ay.
Okay, very good. And
Ano sa listo?
Si ano ata yan?
si B-Boy.
Si B-Boy.
Ah.
Yun ko lang naalala.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So as you walk through this area of town, you start to notice that there are several houses that have signages on them, indicating that they are the specialty shops in town. So one of them here, as you reach this area here, you can see that it says Arasek Stockyard. It's like a parking garage for carriages and horses, and there's a stable at the back. Right now, all you see inside is a closed merchant shop and a wagon, a wooden wagon. As you keep moving forward, is there any particular kind of establishment that you're looking for?
Tavern para makapag-rest.
Okay. And you see signs pointing to the Blue Water Inn, saying just ahead. So do you just sprint, make a beeline towards the tavern?
Walking na parang nagsistroll, yung nagtitingin ka sa paligid.
Okay, so you're trying to take in notable areas, correct? Okay. So as you continue walking along this street, you find yourself on this alley here. You see the pavement is different. It is made of colorful bricks that in the morning would produce a very vibrant vibe, as though it were a plaza of some sort. You know that this road leads to a plaza. However, since it is night, you cannot see much, and you cannot see many of the details of this area just yet. As you keep going along, you find yourself in this intersection where, looking down this area of the street, or this street, you find several stores, one of which has a sign that reads, that looks like a toy maker shop. However, since it is night, it is currently closed as well. Okay. And finally, you reach a rather medium-sized building that is the only house right now that has light inside. You can tell that it is open because there is smoke coming out of its chimneys. There are 2 stories, 2 floors to this building. It's made of wood with a stone foundation. And you can notice that from the outside, the roof tiles seem to sag a little bit. You also notice that even though it's nighttime, there are several birds that are perched on top of the roof. They look like ravens. And there is a painted sign hanging from the main entrance, which shows a blue waterfall. So you have arrived at the Blue Water Inn. What is the party doing? Do you go in?
Pwede mag-knock muna. Ay, nag-knock pa sa tavern. Oo, silip muna sa window.
Hindi.
Di ba pumapasok ka lang?
Oo.
Pero, can we investigate kung safe ba yung place, like yung inside? Baka mamaya mapagkama lang kami
Tsaka,
back
may
or
raven.
something. I don't know.
Nakatingin ba yung raven sa amin?
The ravens do not look at you. They are just chilling. They're just chilling on top, more or less. They're not really looking at you at the moment.
So, ibang raven.
Alaga ni
Pasok
ano yun. Oo, sige, pasok tayo.
Okay.
Alaga ni ano pangalan nun?
Strad. Wala to. Strad pala. Sorry.
Strad.
Okay, I'm just gonna get your tokens as we shift to the new map. Okay, you should be able to see something now. Wala pa rin.
Wala pa rin ako. Ayan, meron na sa pinakababa.
Ako rin.
Okay.
Lower right.
You should be able to see something here. Ayan. Okay, so you see that the entrance to this inn, parang there's a, paano yun? Parang the second floor overlaps it. It is covered by the second floor. And from the outside, you can already hear that there is some sort of hustle and bustle on the inside. You can hear the clanging of mugs, the bagging of chairs, and the throwing of tables inside. So, how do you proceed? How do you want to proceed?
Can we... Papasok na ba tayo? Gusto nyo?
Okay. Dahan-dahan lang siguro.
Oo, dahan-dahan lang.
Cover naman siya, so public place.
Okay, so you all enter. Jadan. And you see that this tavern is full of people, and there is a woman at the end of the bar. She's tending to all of them. She has her hands full, getting mug after mug after mug of wine and giving them to the customers who are waiting at the table. She sees you and says, "Oh, you, come in. Just sit where you want. Sit where it's empty." Do you take a seat?
Can we try to catch her at that time na hindi kami kakain? Maghahanap lang kami ng room to rest.
Not hungry, eh? Well, yes, you're in luck because upstairs, that's where we have the inn. We have rooms available. How many do you need?
Tatlo lang naman. Ay, ilan ba tayo? 5?
5.
Kasya ba kami in one room? Sobrang... Ay, 6 pala.
Anin ata tayo.
Okay, so we have a room that has 4 beds in it. And then our other deluxe rooms have 2 beds in each.
1 room.
Pwedeng extra bed.
Unfortunately, an extra bed will not fit. So that will be 2 rooms.
How much per...
Are you new here?
Tuturo ko kami.
Password ba yan?
Oo nga.
Yeah, you look new here. Okay, for you, I'll give you package deal. 5 gold for both rooms. I normally charge 10.
With free breakfast. Then... ano?
You know what? 5 gold for both rooms, and I'll throw in a glass of wine for each of you. How about that?
Ano, deal na yun? Mura na yun. Sobrang bilis mabentahan.
Ano ba yun? Yung isang in natin parang
Limit open now.
parang silvers lang yun, diba? Pero sige.
Hindi, kasi si... Kanina na lang, yung mga girls yung lahati. One at least. Oh, tama. Tayong dalawa, maghati tayo sa one room. Tapos si...
Keep touching now.
Irina.
Wala namang pera si Irina. Basta hati na lang tayo.
Well, Irina says that she can pay for herself.
Pwede mo siya nagbayad lahat?
Kasi
Ka naman.
wala nga kami pera. Kasi na nga makapulat ng 12 gold. Pambabayad pa ng hotel.
She looks at you and says, "Didn't my brother promise give you some reward money?"
Kasi 5 gold pieces. Ako muna magbayad, bayaran niyo na lang ako.
Okay.
Meron naman akong 4, di ba?
Bigay pala.
Okay, and Irina gives you back 1 gold piece as her share. And she says, I get the double room.
What? How dare you? Share lang dapat. Ay, oo, actually, pwede pala. Hindi, pwede bang yung mga girls kasama niyo? Para maka-rest in sila. Later.
Well, there are... Tawag to? The room is 4 and 2. 4 beds and 2 beds.
4 beds naman. Okay, sige. Sige na nga. Bigay ka naman ng 4 beds.
Sige. Kayo na lang sa sa deluxe.
Okay.
Doon lang ako sa the boys.
And as you slide your gold over to the bartender, she gives each of you a cup of wine.
Rewind.
Here, as promised, on the house. Yan. So is anyone drinking the wine?
Me.
Okay.
Okay.
And as you drink it, yes,
Ano.
Yes, Shivara?
Mag-break muna ako.
no, Shivara,
Mamatay
what are
ako.
you saying?
But, ano yun?
What were you saying?
Oo. Hintay ko muna si Johanna tapos uminom.
Okay. And you see Johanna
Madala.
taste this wine, and it is the sweetest, most delicious wine that she has ever tasted. It is whatever qualities a good wine should be. And in fact, it is so good that you believe that whatever this wine is made of, it is extremely well grown grapes or fruits because of how good it is. Anyone else?
Wala nang side effect sa akin. Like,
It is just 1 cup. There is no side effects yet.
Pwede yung tanong kung saan gawa yung wine or saan ginagrow yung fruits, grapes.
Well, we get our supply of wine from the winery. It's a family tradition. I mean, that's all we're allowed to say, because if I say anything more, it will be giving our secrets. It's trade secrets, you know. Did any of you drink the wine from Barovia?
ano lang, yeah.
Condoriano, are you drinking the wine here?
Dito sa tavern.
Yes.
Wala pa.
Are you drinking it now? Because you have a cup of wine in your hands. Okay. And Condoriano, again, you get the familiar taste of wine. It is the same familiar taste that you got from when you drank at the Barovia Village Tavern, and also the same taste that you got when you drank with the Vishtanis. You know that the quality is the same.
Nararamdaman mo. Oriana.
But since it's just one glass, there is no bad effects. There are no bad effects.
Mead to, diba? Mead.
Wine.
Ah,
Is anyone else doing anything?
wala na kasi tired na. So,
How about Shivara? Are you drinking your wine?
Hi. Sige, since na-try na naman ni Condoriano before and wala namang side effects.
Okay. Very good. Roll a wisdom. Joke lang. Sama no? Okay, and again, you get the same sensation, the refreshing sweetness of this wine. It is unmatched by anything you have ever drunk before. And you can notice that in this tavern, it is quite busy and rowdy. There are drunk people all around, and but while they are drunk, they are generally just happy. They are singing and dancing. Yes, they're all good vibes. So does everyone now go to sleep in their room?
Pwedeng ano, parang magmasid-masid na, like, habang in wine.
Sure. Roll me a investigation check.
Na rin kung anong meron sa area.
Go ahead. Roll an investigation check.
With guidance.
Go ahead. Okay.
Ganyan. D4 pa.
Okay, that's good.
May question pala ako, DM. Anong pinaka-highest na makukuha mong score sa RD4?
4.
4. Oo nga, no?
Okay. And while you're inside, you start to hear that there's a lot of chatter going on. You hear from a different table, one of them talking about the day that just passed. They're saying, "Oh, today we had so much fun in the jamboree. Yeah, we stuck the wolf's head onto the stake. Everyone was happy. Yay! When's the next festival? Maybe in a couple of days. I'm sure they're gonna start preparations again." Really? A couple of days? Right away? Yeah. Well, at least it'll make us happy. And you can hear them saying, I'm starting to get tired of all of these festivals. But if they keep away the bad vibes, then it should be worth it, right? Yeah, well, it's law to not have bad vibes. And then from another table, you can hear their murmurs. They're discussing naman about rumors in the north. You hear the words Zarovich Gate, and you hear the words Lake Zarovich, and the word lightning. From what you can make out, one of them is telling his companions about the one time that he went to Lake Zarovich, past the Zarovich Gate, to the north of Valaki, and tried to fish. However, he got too far into the middle of the lake, and suddenly lightning started to strike him out of nowhere. He was lucky to be alive, he tells them. He's not sure, but he can swear that he heard the voice of a man coming from the other end of the lake, which cast the spell on him. But he's not sure. And those are the intel that you're able to gather from listening while in the inn.
I have a question. Itong Zarovich Gate, Big Zarovich, tsaka Lightning, connected ba siya dun sa um, parang hula sa atin?
Maybe.
Madapit ba?
Maybe.
Okay. Pwede parang makisali ng konti dun sa usapan ng dalawa. Kung anong saan yung Big Zarovich?
Okay. And as you get closer to them, where is Johanna? And try to get a seat that's closer to them to eavesdrop on their conversation. You start to hear them say,
She's
Lake Zarov, the Zarovich Gate, it's up north from Valaki. You can't miss it. There are only 3 gates in this place.
pwede naman kami pumunta doon kahit travelers lang kami.
Well, it's usually meant for fishers or people who want to go fishing. So I don't see why they would stop you from going there. But I warn you, there is a dangerous man there. He's crazy. I swear I heard somebody casting that lightning bolt on me.
Okay.
So I warn you, if you want to go there, be very, very careful.
Ganun lang ako. Tapos, may alis na ako ulit. Try na ako mag-rest.
Okay. And what is the party now doing?
Toby, sino yung babae nandito? Itong kausap namin. Eto to.
Ito?
Oo, yan.
She is the bartender.
Oh.
Yes, she is the one who has been entertaining you this whole time. So, what's the rest of the party doing now? Is that enough investigating?
Gusto niyo ba mag-investigate more? Ako? Yes lang.
Pwede. Meron pa ba? Investigate?
Like, check ko yung paligid. Okay ba yung paligid? Parang, kakaiba sa mga tao.
Pwede itanong sa bartender kung nag-export sila
Export?
ng wine.
No, we do not export. We only sell here at the Blue Water Inn. Why do you ask?
Sabihin ba natin the same wine? Yung mga natikman ni Condoriano. Or wag na.
Nag-export daw sila.
Hindi daw.
Investigate itong bartender.
Okay, what are you trying to investigate?
Like, nagtatanong-tanong lang ako sa kanya.
What are you asking? Exactly.
Bakit bawal yung bad vibes?
Well, the burgomaster here is afraid of the devil and he believes that bad vibes will attract the devil. So he outlawed it. Can you believe that?
Hindi masyado. Pero syempre kung rin ang pupunta. Paano na-maintain ng mga tao? Syempre, isa naman yung
Yeah, well, that's why he puts up all of these festivals. I mean, were you here for the jamboree earlier? Did you what? Too bad. Well, all you have to do is wait maybe 2 or 3 days. There's gonna be another one. Well, today they put wolf heads on pikes. Supposedly they're gonna they're gonna drive the devil away, scare him away. As if that will work. Yes, you can sense a lot of sarcasm in her voice and a lot of discontentment. Does it look like it works? Do you think it will work? I don't think so. Anyone with a functioning brain can see that just eliminating bad vibes will not protect us from the devil. What we need is a good defense plan.
May nangyari na ba before?
Well,
Na-attack or something?
that is what the current burgomaster is touting. He's saying, "See, throughout my reign here as burgomaster, we have not been visited by the devil." I say that's because of the church, because they've been protecting us. But sooner or later, the church is going to run out of energy or power, whatever they're doing, and eliminating bad vibes will not save us at all.
Not even interesting that.
Yes, the Church of Saint Andral. That's where we always go. Or well, we used to go. Well, you see, it's hard to go to that church when the burgomaster forces us to continuously have festival after festival after festival. It gets tiring. No one has time for prayer anymore.
More money or
It's at the west end of the town. I suggest you go visit it when it's morning again.
Morning siguro. Tulog muna tayo.
All right, your rooms are upstairs. Here are your keys. She hands you 2 keys. Don't forget to lock. And be happy. Me, my name is Danica. Danica Martikov. I'm the owner here.
Pwede namin i-meet yung burgomaster tomorrow para pakilala siya.
I'm not sure why he would want to meet you, but sure, you can make an appointment.
Ano mag-make ng appointment?
That I don't know. Perhaps you can visit the burgomaster's mansion. I'll draw it out for you in the map. And then she indicates the burgomaster's mansion in the map.
Lang tour dun sa wine making nila.
Wine making? No, we don't make the wine here.
Saan?
Family secret. I'm sorry.
Okay.
May something wine na to.
Oo. Curious talaga ako sa wine na yan. Parang yung bread.
So, off you go to your rooms? Yes?
Okay.
Okay, and all of you head to your rooms. going up a flight of stairs that is from the outside of the tavern. So from here, you see a flight of stairs here that lead upwards, which brings you to a narrow corridor. Here. And then you can, from the second floor, you can see down below. It is the tavern. And there are two rooms. You see room A, room B, and room D. Your rooms are room B and room D.
Meron bang something lalang, random?
Nothing much except for D is for dorm. That's all.
Dorm type.
Yes. Okay, so everyone is resting inside of the rooms, and everyone intends to take a long rest, correct? Okay. So now, this is the point where I ask everyone if you're all going to sleep at the same time.
Feeling ko wag, kasi parang
Sino nga na matutulog? No? Parang hectic pa rin.
Oo, ako na lang muna magbabantay.
Ganda pa ang next na shift.
Oo.
Johanna, make a perception check.
My God, ano ba yan?
So, the sleeping people, make a wisdom save.
Grabe naman yun.
Wow, very good. You sleep very soundly in the first 2 hours of your sleep, of your rest. Okay, first shift is up, is done. Second shift, who's taking it?
Ako, second shift.
Okay, Condoriano, you are awake. Johanna, you fall asleep. Condoriano, make a perception check. So, everyone who is asleep, please make wisdom saves again. Johanna?
Bless ba kami?
No.
Pwede bang iyan? Ay,
Okay. Shivara, again.
Sabi ko.
So, after 2 hours of sound, undisturbed sleep, you start to dream of you being back in your ship with your crew, sailing the open seas once again, just like you used to. You're plundering a rival ship again. You're boarding them, and you're hauling back the loot into your ship. And you relive the tragedy that befell you before. How your ship was overrun by a unknown sea creature. Sea creature ba? Well, this time it's a unknown sea creature that pierces the hull of your ship, and one by one, you see your crew being consumed by the creature. You are powerless to stop them. You are powerless to save them, no matter what. And this traumatic experience troubles you so much that you cannot gain any rest for these 2 hours that you are dreaming this dream. So you have not gained. So you lost 2 hours of rest, Shivara.
Ilan ulit yung short hour? Ay, short rest. Ilang hours?
2 hours ang short rest. 6 hours for a long rest.
Okay.
So there are 8 hours until you have to wake up again. So third shift. Who's taking third shift? Okay, Shivara, you wake up from this bad dream in a shiver, and you see that Condoriano has finished his watch. Shivara, make a perception check. Very good. Your eagle eyes make sure that nothing gets past you. In fact, your vision is able to peer very slightly into a different dimension, seeing that you are watching. You notice that there is a dimensional shift somewhere nearby that notices you watching them and runs away.
Dimensional shift?
Yes. And now, everyone who is asleep gains a peaceful rest for 2 hours. And there is one more shift if anyone would like to take it.
Sino ang last?
Keep yun. Kaso wala dito sa keep yun eh.
Well, by this time, Condoriano and Johan have already gained a long rest. Shivara lang ang na-interrupt.
So pwede na magising.
Yes. So you can watch for her. So both Condoriano and Johanna are awake and watching. Is that correct? Okay. Both of you, roll perception. Para makatulog naman si Shivara.
Ba yan? Tayong dalawa. Ano ba yung mga ano natin? Yung role natin.
Shivara, you know what that means. Wisdom save.
So pagka mababa yung role namin as sa persuasion, mag-wisdom save yun.
Wait. Perception, not persuasion. Reroll that. Okay.
Yeah.
And Johanna, your celestial your celestial senses are so keen that they can feel other dimensions. And having felt that you feel them, you can feel that whatever you felt is now running away and not continuing with whatever it tried to do. And so Shivara was able to get a good long rest, and everybody wakes up with the benefit of a long rest. Yes, what's that?
Sino yung sa na?
Unfortunately, you can only feel the presence. However, you are not able to do anything more because the magic is too strong for you to know them, unless you know precisely what they are using.
Paano namin malalaman?
Perhaps one of the NPCs might know a thing or two about that.
Baka si Diana. Diana ba? Tama.
Sino si Lihan?
Yung bartender.
Danica.
Danica. Sige.
Okay, so it is the morning. Once again, everyone has gained a long rest. Restore your health points, restore your spell slots. And now, it is morning. So what is the party doing? You have-
Mag-stretching siya ng Condoriano.
Okay, so Condoriano is doing his daily stretchings. And you know that you were promised breakfast
Gusto niyo mag-lake?
at the tavern.
Gusto niyo mag-lake? Para
Pwede rin church muna.
okay, sige.
Tas late.
Okay.
Baka may potion shop. Ano na?
May pera ka ba? Wala ka pa.
Meron naman.
Kapal.
Kasi hindi mahal. Per breakfast daw muna sabi ko na yan.
Okay.
Okay. And as you head downstairs to the inn that you had your dinner at the tavern pala that you had dinner in, or yeah, your night drinks last night. Wait lang. Okay, so you're out. You go out here. Irina is with you again. There. Yeah. And now, from the outside, you notice that it is much more quieter compared to the evening. There's no more banging on table. There's no more loud laughing. But instead, it's the sound of quarreling. You can hear voices shouting at one another. What do you do?
Makinig ng konti. May mag-gather na information.
Okay. So do you go inside the door?
Eavesdrop.
Ha?
Do you go inside?
Slowly.
Oo, go.
Hindi mo paparamdam.
Okay. So you awkwardly enter the door of the bar. And you see it's Danica once again at the bar. But this time there are two men dressed like nobles. They have very fancy clothes on them. However, you notice that despite it being early in the morning, they are already not drunk, they're agitated. They're very noisy. And they're saying, "What do you mean there's no wine? There has to be wine. There's never an end to the wine here. Right? Come on. It's already 9 o'clock. I need my first cup of wine before 9." And you can hear them shouting back and forth. The Danica is just explaining na, "Oh, we didn't get our shipment of wine today. What am I going to do? How am I going to serve you? Here, try this." And she gets out a pot, pours out some black liquid from that pot. Here, try this. It's better than wine. It'll make you feel better. And I'm sure that it'll make you less cranky. From your end, while they haven't noticed you, you can smell the wafting of the aroma coming from that pot. It smells like coffee. It's coffee. You notice that the two people here are very agitated because, uh, as you heard, there is no more wine. So now, what, as a party, what are you going to do?
For wine.
There is no more wine.
And then ask, ngayon lang ba hindi dumating yung ship niya? Or nangyayari din before?
You hear Danica say, "No, this has never happened before." What am I gonna do?
Usually ba? Saan usually galing yung wine? Di ba family secret mo pala yun?
Ka na naman ng
You know what? If you're really that curious, hold on. And she starts, she goes out towards the nobles, or the two men that are there, that have been complaining. You, Carl, and you, Nikolai, you have been a pain on my butt for a long time. I will now send you back to your mother. And she pinches both of them on their ears and drags them out of the inn. And lets them go out. And throws them out of the inn. And you see the two of them just walking away, giving her, well, cursing at her, saying, "Yeah, you can't do that to me. Do you know who you do? Do you know who our parents are? Huh? Do you know who I am? Do you know who we are? You can't do that to us." And then they walk away. And then you see Danica invites you in, saying, "If you're really that curious, come in. Have a seat." Do you have a seat? Do you?
yes.
Okay. And as you have a seat, she locks the door behind you. And she goes to this room here on the side near the bar, and she shouts, "Orwin, come out here. Some people might be able to help us." And from the room, inside of the room, you see
Can help from what? Oh,
this man. There. You see him come out. You see, this is Orwin Martikov. He is my husband. Both of us, we run this winery, this inn and tavern. Orwin, explain. And Orwin says, "Fine, I don't want to talk to him." Anyway, you see, the shipments, they come from my father, from the Wizard of the Wines. However, our last shipment has been delayed, and we have used up the last of our wine. If you would be so kind, would you mind following up on them, finding out what the hell happened? Please?
Saan? Nasaan
oo.
sila?
Di, manghingi ka muna
Magkano?
Oh, okay. Of course, of course. I will mark out the Wizard of the Winds for you on this map. And I will give you 20 gold now. And free lodging in our inn. For as long as you want. How about that?
20 gold each.
20 gold. How many are you? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you drive a hard bargain. Fine. 20 gold each.
20 gold for now and then may additional kung maging successful kami.
If you succeed, I will give you free lodging in our inn.
Ever.
Yes. You can use the room D whenever you want.
Tagal ba tayo magsistay?
Hindi ko sure.
Hindi natin masulit kung aayos.
Ano? Huwag na lang lodging.
Pwede naman lodging, pero bumaba. Pero pwede na siya ngayon.
Pwede naman. Each naman eh. Hindi lang natin malalagay kay kina Gideon.
Oo, pero at least
Eh,
meron.
pwede ba?
I-note na lang natin. Sige. Pag muntikan na, pag mamuntikan na tayo mamatay, maghihingi tayo ng additional na bayan. Sige. Yun muna, sige. Pushable pa naman, di ba?
A wizard. Of
He marks it off in the map. It is to the west of Valaki. You can see that there's a long road that you just have to follow. It is clearly marked out for you.
Shivara, tinanong mo ba bakit tayo lagi may bad news?
Hindi pa.
Ayun, pwedeng can we ask them kung bakit kami lagi may bad news?
Mhm.
Nainggit ba sila?
I'm not familiar with magic. However, maybe the priest in St. Andrew's Cathedral or the Church of St. Andrew can help you. Maybe he might have answers.
Okay, sige. Daan na lang tayo ng church.
Okay, so where is the destination of the party?
Sa church na.
Okay, so you have been given 20 gold each, and your next destination now is to head to the Church of Saint Andrew. Okay. And before you set out on your journey, they give you each a cup of black liquid that smells like coffee. Do you drink it?
Ako, sige.
Sige, drink.
Pass na ako.
Drink.
And as you drink it, you taste the richest, creamiest espresso that you have ever tasted, without the tannin, without the bitterness. And with that taste, you start to feel that there's a warm, tingly feeling that is brewing up that is brewing within you. It starts from your gut and rises until it reaches your head, and you hear a voice whispering, "Level up."
Yeah.
So, hindi ako minom, hindi ako nag-level up. Ganun ba yan?
Huh? No,
Huwag
no.
na rin daw siya Shibara.
Every, everyone levels up. Everyone levels up.
Okay.
Okay, and that's where we are going to end tonight's session. Okay.
Ganda. Ganda ng session na.
So thank you very much
Sana
for
dumami
playing.
na tayo.
Yes. And thank you very
Oo, ang
much.
hirap lumaban. Thank you,
Thank you.
DM.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Good night. Stay safe
Good
always.
night. Oh, ingat kayo. Ingat kayo. Ayan, gano'ng hours na lang work nyo? Ako hanggang 5 na lang.
Work from home pa rin.
Oo. Ay, oo. Oo. Nakikita ko. Sige. Yun lang.
Sige.
Sina Bea.
Ingat
Yung
kayo.
gold mo pala.
Ha?
Ha?
Ano?
Yung gold,
Yung
nilagay
gold
ko
mo
na
pala,
siya.
nalagay mo na.
Oo,
Ang gold 20?
Konti lang
Oh,
pala,
nalagay
no?
ko na.
20,
Yung 20 additional
27.
20. 39?
So, 7 lang gold mo
Oo,
originally.
oo. Ako palagi nagbabayad, diba?
Ah,